All right, let's dive into Canva and Adobe Spark, everyone. I have found a new tool. This is called Wavelet. Wavelet is a service and Web 2.0 that allows me to curate information, curate resources, and I have found it very useful for giving visuals with the representation of learning that I want to have take place. So I have shared the Wavelet within the page with you. The other thing that I have done is I've created a PDF. So I'm going to hop over here to the PDF. What's really nice about this, if you ever want to share it with students, it also creates a clickable PDF. So if you wanted to share that just with your students, it provides that. So that's kind of what I'm going to go through today with you. So there are a couple of items that we're going to talk about today. First one is Canva. Canva is a web publishing tool that allows you, as you are working through the process with Canva, cancel that, they allow you to have some really great options as far as creation of materials for your students that are very visual in nature, and they will give you some design process along with that. The other one that I have just started using just this year is Adobe Spark. The reason why I like Adobe Spark a little bit more is because it allows me to do videos and web stories, and I can create a website. I can do some of those things over in Canva, but one of the biggest helpful features for me as I build these Schoology sites and courses is that I can resize. So if I like the way that an image looks, but I need it in a smaller size or a bigger size, I have the ease of going in and making it a different size. So that's what I really love. If you were inspired after this and you would like to go into the Canva Design School, I would strongly recommend going through a couple of these different course lessons because I have found so much value in what this design school has brought. And it really teaches you how to make things contrast, how to use colors and schemes to make the learning a little bit more enjoyable. All right, and then here are some other tools that I have offered for moving forward, and those are also built in to your items. So let's hop over here onto Chrome. So the first thing I'm going to start off with, because many of you have already dabbled in Canva, so I'm going to actually start in Adobe Spark this time. So you're going to click on Adobe Spark, and it's going to take you to this website if you go through the Wavelet. From there, you're going to click on Login if you don't have it already. I'm going to actually log out because I want to show you what it looks like for the login because I know some of my students and teachers had a little bit of an issue. So if I click on Login, okay, it then takes you to this first window. You are going to go over here to the right and use Teacher or Student Login with a School Account. And then you're going to use the single sign-in Google button. And we're going to use Enterprise ID. And once you get in there the first time, it's going to say, what do you want to create? And if you say skip this tour, you can totally do that. So here's where you can make custom size graphics. And so we've already given you the size dimensions that you need for particular items over in for this week, especially like course tiles, different submissions for different assignments, how to create your tables in a nice manner. So head over there and get the dimensions first before you start. But I always like to start with a square because then I know that I am going to use the same dimension for the height and the width. So I'm going to actually go over here to Instagram post because that is a square size. And so as I'm going in through the creation, they can have some templates over here. You could start by using one of those if you so choose. So you could actually say, I'm going to be talking about maps. So they might already have a map there for you. So I can click on create using that template. And what Adobe does is it basically takes the designers from Adobe that have all the great principles from their design school, and they've created all these templates. So don't try to tweak as much as you normally do when you go in to make a published item. I know sometimes we think that more is more. Sometimes more is way too much and you've already lost the person. So if you wanted to spark the interest of your students, you could start with a map like this, and maybe you go in and you change the colors up. So to do that, let me just bounce over here. I go into the color scheme, and here's the other really nice thing. So they already got color palettes. You don't have to go in and figure all those out. You can shuffle, you can change it up if you like what you are seeing, but maybe you know, need a different contrast. Maybe you want it more monochromatic. You can change things up that way. Okay. And go down and kind of like, there's so many possibilities here. So then I also want to keep in mind that I can go into the design, I can change up, I can use some variations. So if I liked different sizing variations, I could do that, okay, if I wanted to. But this resize over here is crucial. So make sure that if you started with what you wanted, so here's just a really quick way of changing the text. I go in here to edit. All right, a closer look at population. Okay. And then I can change the alignments. I can change the size, maybe too much. Oops. Control Z is your friend. And that way it goes back. That's the undo. Control Z, totally my friend. Okay. I can also see that this image back here, if I move this, that you see that that shape is staying with it. Okay, so that is part of the look. So you want to keep that there. All right, so then I can delete this if I just wanted to have this fun little visual. All right, if this is what I want, okay, if I want to stick with this, I can go ahead and download the PNG. I'm going to choose that, start my download. Now, this is where solid color or transparent. If you choose solid color, okay, that's going to keep that color in the background. If you choose transparent, it's going to float on the white page. I cannot guarantee that that is going to be exactly what you want. Okay, so if you know that you want the item to float on the page, you're going to choose transparent. But because I know I have a color there, I'm going to choose solid color. That's the difference. So you need to know the difference between transparent and solid. It now has shown up right underneath here. Okay, so it's waiting in my banner, but maybe I would like to make it more landscape. So I can change this up. Here is this, and I'm going to maybe make that a little bit smaller for right now. Now I can make it look bigger, and maybe I might want to add another piece of text on there, or maybe I'll just want to change the color. Okay, ooh, yikes, okay. So you get to really decide what that looks like. I'm going to go back over here to colors because I like to change it up that way. Looking for that orange, if it will give it to me. Maybe it won't. Okay. All right. And notice you got those grid marks that kind of like work along with you to help you with the centering of everything. Okay. All right. So now I've resized it. Now I can go ahead. I'm going to rename it this time, US population, and download PNG. And I'm going to choose solid color again. All right. I am now going to show you one really quick couple of tools that you have also at your disposal. So this color wheel from Canva, it's over in their help section. When you pick a color, you get what's called a hex number. So if you look over here, here is this hex number. So when you custom color items, you can do this in Google, you can do this in Canva or Adobe. So if you pick that color, here is the color right here, that's the number you're going to use. And then what's really nice over here is that I can say monochromatic and stay in the same color scheme, or I could say complementary and know what color complements it. if I wanted to export that palette or create a graphic, I can do that right within Canva. So it's super nice. All right. Over here, I want to show you what I can do with this little eyedropper tool. That was one of the tools that was on the Wakelet. This eyedropper tool, if I click on pick color from web page, this is a Google extension. So I can hover over here. If I go into this picture, let me hop over here. Hold on one second. So I find this picture on a website. I'm like, man, that color is really awesome. I love it. I want to keep that color scheme going throughout. So I use this color eyedropper, pick a color from the website. And as I hover over the different colors, notice that that eyedropper is picking up on different colors. And then once I click, it then stores it up here. And there's that hex color again. So if you stick with a color scheme throughout, it can really lend itself to the students to know that those certain colors mean a certain thing. I know many of you, it's a little overwhelming to go to those lengths. But if you think of how your F pattern works and how you're going to use bolded statements and chunking of materials, you might want to think about using specific colors to mean certain things. And honestly, when I see the basic colors that come with the Schoology palette or Google palette, I always like to take it up a little bit of a notch and make it so it's a little bit more personalized with those colors. So yeah, I hope that this inspires you to make a little bit more creative visuals with what you're doing. And on this next video that we have, we're going to check out how you actually embed those things within your Schoology pages. Good luck.